Holidays. It seems that I've done a sort of a theme over the last few weeks: how to deal with social situations, how to deal with your birthday, and how to deal with holidays. And in fact, there's lots of similarities about all of these. And the similarities are that these are all situations that you need to take control of. And actually, if you think about it, over the years, it's quite possible that your holidays have been controlled by your alcohol consumption rather than the other way around. So you may have been happy to fall into that groove of a holiday that involves just sitting by the pool and drinking cocktails until you fall asleep, and then going to sleep in the afternoon and waking up and going to a restaurant and drinking wine. It's a terribly convenient type of holiday if you're a drinker, and you can justify those sorts of holidays because we are told that that's the way to have a rest and that's the way to have a relaxing holiday. Look on the programme Benidorm, that's exactly how you're meant to have a holiday. So nobody will question your choice of holiday if that's what you choose to do. So it's a beautiful, wonderful, convenient myth to have a holiday like that. And to break out of it is about really saying, in part, actually, it was alcohol that drove my decisions around my destination in the past, not me. And now the time is to take back control of my holidays. So along with the other webinars we did a couple of weeks ago about the social occasions and your holidays, all about taking control. And that's really important when it comes to holidays, because it won't surprise you to know that Brits, when they talk about what they drink over the course of a year, they omit what they drink on holiday. It doesn't count. And actually, we will probably know that in our heads that when we thought about our drinking, we never counted holidays either, because they're different. And it's acceptable, and that's rest and recuperation. The other thing about holidays is people's consumption generally goes up 3 times what they normally drink. Now, everybody, I know what we used to normally drink or are normally drinking, and that's a hell of a lot of alcohol if we're consuming 3 times more than what we normally were. So you can see that actually holidays for us might have become part of the rut, an alcohol-fueled rut that we've been stuck in for quite a while, which is why taking proactive steps to think about your holiday, taking control of it, planning it, and not just going back to that same resort with that same swimming pool again and again and again is really important. So how might you do that? First of all, I would always say to reflect on your previous years, particularly if this is your first year alcohol-free. Reflect on what your holidays were and what a holiday is meant to be. A holiday is meant to be that time where you're not at work, where you get to have some consecutive days rest, and that rest helps you be resilient for the months and the year ahead. So what you've done is taken some personal time to relax, change your surroundings, and build your resilience. There is nothing about drinking on holiday that rests or relaxes you or builds your resilience. Quite often we'll all joke, particularly I would joke when I got back off holiday, oh, I've come back off holiday, I'm so glad to be back at work for a rest. And it wasn't actually a joke, it was actually true, because I drunk so heavily on holiday that really I had needed to come back off holiday to really stop that binge and to get some rest time, because actually caning it every day, drinking bottles of wine every day, just tires you out. It fatigues your body. Having a hangover every day or every other day for a week or 2 weeks, there is nothing restful about it. So have a think about your holiday. Were they really restful? Did it really make you resilient? Was it really a time where you relaxed and enjoyed time with your family? Was it quality time that you spent? Or did alcohol steal all of that from you? It's quite possible that it did. So first we'll have a little reflection on that holiday. And I was just having a look at what Sharon says. The amount that you drink on holiday, you may feel that you're not having a hangover because you are spreading out drinking constantly throughout the day, that what you feel like you're doing is sleeping a lot, and you're sleeping off that alcohol. and sleeping away most of your holiday. But what you're not doing is actually getting to the point where you have a hangover because you're sleep binge. I remember having a holiday to Amsterdam in 2000 actually, where I went with a friend, and our pattern for 5 days was this: get up around midday, go for lunch, drink a bottle of wine, go back to the hotel, have a snooze, go for dinner, have a bottle of wine, a late dinner, and then go out clubbing till 4 or 5 a.m, then do the same again. And that was it for 5 days. We were absolutely shattered by the end. And actually all we had done is spent most of our time asleep and drinking. And it was only drinking in Amsterdam, believe it or not, people. So do reflect on your holidays. And, you know, also think about how much your holiday had become a justification for your drinking, because it's so socially acceptable to go overboard on holiday because you're on holiday. Did you used to really secretly, did your secret little wine witch go in your head, oh, brilliant, it's a holiday, I've got an excuse to drink more, or, oh, it's brilliant to go on holiday, the drink's cheaper, so I can drink more. You know, did you begin to use your holiday as a great excuse to really fuel that inner part of you that really wanted to drink? Could you, and most importantly, it allowed you to do it without guilt, because it's so socially acceptable to go on a holiday where you drink every day and show pictures of wine and cocktails on your Facebook, that you didn't have to feel guilty about it. Where, of course, when you're back in the real world, drinking that amount would layer on huge amounts of guilt for you. So actually the only benefit of holiday is that you were able to drink massive amounts without feeling as guilty, and that is also quite dangerous. So take a little bit of time to think about your past holidays and what you really would have wanted. Well, you know, when you were growing up and you were thinking, oh, when I'm grown up, I'll be able to travel the world, I'll have some money, I'll have a job, I'll be able to travel the world and do exciting things. How is it we ended up then going to the same resort every year and sitting around a swimming pool? And we might blame the kids for, oh, it's easier for the kids. But really, was it all about our drinking? Up to you to decide. And, you know, I've been to some great places in the world, but I've always managed to drink shed loads when I'm there as well. So how do you begin to change all of that? How do you begin to take back control of your holiday? Well, firstly, it's about changing your mindset. So I talked before about the fact that actually it's about building resilience. And I was reading another article earlier today about the fact that we all suffer from stress. We all have really difficult times. Our year can be a really stressful year. But the difference between people who manage that stressful time and those events that might throw us off course is the amount of time that they spend recovering. Not recovering from alcohol particularly, but recovering from being stressful. The downtime that they spend, the rest, recuperation and self-care that they put in means they're more resilient in the longer term. And I actually think that's a really strong thought to get in your head, which is that if I want to have this amazing life, rushing around, seeing people, having a great social life, dealing with the traumas that my family may have, you know, doing well at my job, it's not about the number of hours I stick in and then having some glasses of wine to get me to sleep at night because I'm really stressed. It's actually about how do I plan in the rest time that will make all of that possible. And your holiday is one of those rest times. It's a really important 1 or 2 weeks for you. It's a really important long weekend. So this isn't a 10 days to fritter away on sitting by a pool drinking sangria. This is 10 days that you've got to invest in you, or you and your family, or you and your relationships. And it's not to be treated lightly. And it's now one occasion that you need to think about planning. And you need to switch your mindset away from, I'm going to cane it for 10 days and then come back to work and rest, because it's all about caning it with booze on holiday. And instead change your mindset of what will mean that I can rest and recuperate properly so that I can then enjoy the rest of the year, be less stressed the rest of the year, get some balance and some order in my life. How can you move to self-care? So rest and resilience and self-care is the name of the game for your holidays. It's not about the beer, it's about you. It's about taking care of yourself. So that might be more walking, it might be more reading, it might be doing some yoga, it might be doing some exercise, it might be doing something different, it might be seeing new places, it might be immersing yourself in new cultures, it might be talking to some new people and finding new people, it might be eating different food, it might be trying new alcohol-free drinks, it might just be getting out of your daily grind and being in a different space. But it's not about drinking yourself to a point where you are tired, lethargic and ill by the time you come back off holiday. So begin to switch that mindset, and it doesn't matter if actually you've still booked the same resort in Mallorca as you've done in previous years. You can still make this holiday a restorative and kind and wonderful holiday. It doesn't matter if you're going on holiday with your kids, and we'll talk about that in a minute. There is still time you can eke out of this day and these weeks for you, and we'll talk about how you do that. But first of all, it's about switching your mindset and saying, yippee, I've got 7 days, 10 days, 14 days to look after myself. Now, what am I going to do to make that happen? That's really exciting. I've started to, just to let you know, I have decided that we're going to go to, me and Yus are going to go to the island social, the Dublin social in September, but in the 5 days before that we're going to go to somewhere in Ireland and have a bit of a holiday, which we've not had this year, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm actually having to stop myself looking for things to do, because of course there are so many possibilities when you're not drinking, because that's a really good procrastination tool from all the work that I need to do. So what else can we do? So switch your mindset to self-care, then plan your holiday. Now, it won't surprise you to know that we spend more time planning our holidays than we do ever looking at our finances. It's an interesting stat that I know from a previous life. But actually, planning and enjoying planning your holiday is part of the fun of having a holiday, right? And rather than feeling, oh no, I'm too busy to think about my holiday, I'll only think about it the week before, actually putting some time aside as part of your sobriety practice or your daily thought about being sober and thinking about your holiday and planning around your holiday can be a really exciting part of that trip, but also be a good distraction in its own right. And it may be you've gone to the same place in Ibiza every year, but I bet you there's tons of parts of Ibiza you've never explored, because they might have needed a car and driving, or they might have needed you to get out of the hotel, or you've just never, never really thought beyond. And so you can now begin to look at the place that you're going through new, fresh eyes. You can drive if you want to. You can hire a cheap car. You can go on a day trip on a coach that involves getting up at 8 a.m. because you'll be able to get that coach. You can try out some different things because you know that you have the energy. And you'll be surprised at how much you have re-engineered your holidays around accommodating your drinking, just like in your daily life where you would never have organised something at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, or like me, I'd never have organised an early morning meeting at work. You will suddenly begin to realise how much you've subconsciously rearranged your holidays around your drinking, and now you need to break out of that rut and begin to look at what's going on. It might be that you can sit with your family and spend some time with your family looking through the options. Give everyone a task to do. Right, one of you, find something exciting that we can all do together. I'm going to look at some things that are exciting for me that I can do on my own while you're all doing something else, and so on. So you can actually make it into a bit of a team bonding exercise before you start. The other thing about planning is finding some things that you might want to do for yourself. There is no rule in this world, right, that says that just because you go on holiday with 4 other people, it doesn't mean that you have to spend every minute of every day with those 4 other people. Can you talk to your partner about them spending some time with the kids and you having some time alone? If you know that everyone else generally gets up late on holiday, is there an hour that you can squeeze in on your own before everyone else wakes up? Is there something you can do before dinner where you can get the kids to do some of the activities somewhere on the site that you're on, and you and your partner get to have a walk together? Begin to see your holiday as having texture. It's not all one thing where you're all lumped together. It's about time as a couple, time with you and your kids, time with your kids' separately, time with yourself on your own. So begin to plan in some texture to your holiday. Don't pack it so full that you'll be overwhelmed. Maybe book some things that you know that you'll really enjoy, and have some backup plans for the day where you will wake up and you feel like doing something different. But you can begin to explore those options, and I really love doing that. Everywhere I go, I'm looking at where the art gallery may be, where the best place to eat is, where some of the underground stuff that I might not have seen in a city might be. I'm trying to find out where all that local colour is. Even using Meetup in different cities I find really interesting. So make planning part of your holiday journey itself. There may be shops you want to visit. There may be walks that you want to do. Mini adventures within your big adventure. It's really exciting. The third thing is to manage expectations and carve out meaningful time. So if you are going on holiday with people who don't know that you're not drinking, and they still expect you to be the person up at 3 a.m. doing shots, then you need to tell them now. You don't need to suddenly throw it on them as they get to the place. Let them know things have changed for you, that actually it's important to you that you stay sober this holiday, that you still will partake in things, but it's likely you're not going to be up at 3 a.m. doing shots, but you'll be up at 9 a.m. for anyone who wants to walk along the beach or who wants to do any of those things. There are several Club Soda members who have managed to do incredibly boozy, girly holidays and remain sober, and they've done that by carving out the bits of time for themselves, not feeling guilty that they leave the bar early and have an early night because they've woken up and had a walk along the beach in the morning before everyone else is up and felt really good. So you can, you know, and that part of what they did was make sure that everyone else knew that they weren't drinking this holiday. And that's not what they wanted to do. But it is really important to make sure those people know that things have changed, that there has been a seismic shift. And you can do things that I think are really important. You've got friends for a reason, guys. You've got family for a reason. There's no reason why, you know, you can't take several hours to spend a time with one-on-one with each of your children, doing something on that holiday that's very unique and special and meaningful to you, where you are giving them all of your attention. Giving people you love all of your 100% undivided attention is amazing and great for building your relationship. And isn't it amazing if you can come back off holiday saying, not only am I sober and rested, but I also got to know my son a bit better. I got to know my best friend a bit better. I got to know someone I don't know really well better. In fact, I went on a walk on my last holiday to Ibiza with someone who's always been part of a friendship group. They're a best friend of one of my best friends. So we've always known we're best friends of the same person, but we've never spent time together. We did on that holiday. We had a really lovely walk and chat and built a friendship of our own rather than one that has come through an intermediary. So begin to plan in not only the things you want to do, but the people you want to spend time with and what you would hope to get out of spending some time with them in a completely different setting. Then there's about disrupting your normal holiday traditions. So if you know that you still like to spend the day sitting around the pool at least one day on your holiday, then you need to really plan for what you're going to do instead of drinking cocktails. You really want to know what you're going to do instead of hitting the bar as soon as, you know, nighttime comes, you know, at like 5:30. Yes, it's about the right time, isn't it? So if you're still going to be doing those things that you used to do, you need to keep the tradition, but change the substance, change the thing that you do. So again, you might want to find different drinks. You might want to start challenging the bar staff to make you alcohol-free cocktails. You might decide that you need to break up the afternoon next to the pool by going for a little walk, because trust me, if you're not drinking cocktails anymore, you'll probably get a bit bored, because the reason why you probably drank the cocktails to begin with is because it is actually a little bit boring. So don't feel anxious about doing something different and doing what your mind tells you. Oh, I'm a bit bored now. So if I'm a bit bored, the answer isn't to drink, the answer is to do something different. Is it a longer book or a different book? You know, is it about just taking a little bit of time out? Is it actually swimming in the pool? Could be novel, but it's possible. So, you know, begin to, if you know that there are things that you'll be doing that you've done in previous years that involve alcohol, you need to plan your way around them and make sure you know what you're doing. If you are, for example, in somewhere where there's an all expenses paid or all inclusive buffet, you need to know that on the first day there, you need to go and say, right, somebody is giving me healthy food options totally free for a week. Not somebody's giving me burgers totally free for a week, so I'm going to blow out. Somebody's giving me healthy options free for a week, so I'm going to go and hit that buffet and work out what all the healthy stuff is, work out my self-care diet for the week based on what I can see that they're serving us. Go and talk to them about the alcohol-free drinks and what they're offering. Go and fill up my own fridge myself so I know that I've always got something. Get in there, get there early and work out how you're going to subvert those things so that they don't sink you as you go through your week. Number 6 is to explore the local alcohol-free drinks. I can tell you in Ibiza there wasn't a health store that I didn't go into, and in fact Google was great for pointing out where they all were. I tried Ibiza kombucha, I tried Ibiza juices, I tried Ibiza mocktails, I tried raw juice, I tried everything. Every time we walked past a health food store, I went in to see what they had. I loaded up my bag and I had plenty to drink during the holiday. Guess what, people? There are things out there other than alcohol, because apparently the people who live there all year round don't drink every day like the tourists do. They drink shit too, you know, so find out what it is that they're drinking. Actually, all the bars and hot beaches tend to do long juices and smoothies all the way up until 2 or 3 in the morning anyway. And when I was really stuck, I had a tonic with some bitters in it. I don't drink tonic generally the rest of the year round. So for me, it was a great, cool, refreshing holiday drink that I would sip. So, and I remember going to a club and drinking the Rebel iced chocolate drink, which I discovered on holiday, and actually they do here in the UK. But again, I found things I could drink, I found things that I felt were a treat, and I found things that would keep me resilient and strong and to my goals during that trip. Number 7 is to keep connected with support. Just because you're on holiday, it doesn't mean that you then can't connect with things that help you keep to your goal. The worst thing about going on holiday is if you break your goal, then you'll come back feeling really disappointed in yourself. So if it means that for 10 minutes in the morning while everyone else is still asleep, you come on Club Soda, you know what, that's okay. That's not going on the internet just to look frivolously at things that are going on or to go look at the news. Don't do that when you're on holiday. But it's about connecting to something that will keep you strong and make your holiday what you want it to be. So compartmentalise your digital use if you're trying to avoid it, to say, I will only do this bit of digital use to keep me strong. Load up your Kindle with books and magazines and articles. Take books with you, take podcasts and audio with you. Anything you think that at the point where you feel like you might be feeling a bit weak about your goal, that you can listen to and feel like you're connected to your goal, that you've got the advice that you want. You can do this, and you can always do it with the help of other people, and we're not going away. There will always be somebody here when you're on holiday. So keep connected with that support, and sit and do a whoop beforehand. You know, your wish, your outcome, your obstacle plan. My wish is to have a holiday which is completely sober. My outcome of achieving that is I will feel really rested and recuperated. If I have an alcohol-free holiday, I will be able to connect better with the people I'm going with, and I will come back feeling really happy that I've kept to my goal. So what are the obstacles? Well, the obstacles might be cocktails at the bar around the pool. It might be having dinner in a country where red wine's like 10 pence a bottle. It might be the fact that everyone around will be drunk. Whatever those obstacles are, you can make a plan. My plan is to always know that I'm going to get up and do a walk at 8 a.m. in the morning along the beach, which will be so special, and I'm going to do that on my own and spend that time to myself. My plan is to connect with the Club Soda community when I'm feeling weak and a bit vulnerable, and just share how I feel. So you can see how you can build all of this into your holiday. It doesn't have to take masses of time, but certainly the better planned and prepared you are, the more likely you are to achieve your goal. And then finally, I think you should plan a holiday extension. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean whether it's a day or 2 days or a couple of days, a few weeks after you come back off holiday, a little mini holiday for you to celebrate the fact that you got through your trip alcohol free. A bit of time totally for yourself that's about self-care that you can also look forward to while you're on holiday. So it may be that you take a couple of extra days at the end of your holiday, and when the family are all back, and go, right, you know, when we're back, I'm taking these 2 days for myself, and I'm taking myself off somewhere, or I'm just going to pootle around the house doing some of the things that I've put off for ages. But some time for you to both celebrate the fact that you've kept your goal while you've been away, but also to give some you time, particularly if you've been spending time with your family. You should never feel guilty about needing and wanting some time on your own to restore and rejuvenate after spending an intense period of time with people, however much you love them. So plan a little holiday extension, plan a little treat. It might only be an evening out. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be anything, you know, totally special, but a little treat that will top off your holiday and be a celebration. So I think it is possible to do holidays sober. And after you've got your first one off under your belt, they really do get easier and easier and easier. And you get to a point where you wouldn't really want a holiday that involved coming back feeling quite as tired as you did before. I mean, I think back on my holidays now and I think, what a waste. There were times when I was on holiday in China when I was thinking more about, you know, where I might go to find a drink, because obviously it's a very different culture over there, than actually enjoying the surroundings that I was in and finding excuses to do that. I mean, that's madness. Can you believe I went to Sri Lanka when I didn't even like tea? I went to China when I didn't even like tea. I've done all my holidays the wrong way round. I've never done the Thailand thing, which I should have done when I was drinking probably and younger. And then I've done China when I didn't like tea. And now look at me. What a waste of a holiday that was. Anyway, share your holidays. Share your ideas and your thoughts. Share your top techniques. It's from sharing what we all do that makes us all stronger in trying to achieve our goals. And yeah, and have a great holiday. I'm just going to end with one final little bit, which is that in the next week or so, depending on how I distract myself on looking at holidays in Ireland, Club Soda is going to move to a pay what you want platform, which means that we're going to start asking people to contribute towards our costs based on whatever they can afford, because that's the way that me and Yusuf would like to run this. So for example, these webinars take me around a day to do, both in terms of writing them, doing them, downloading them, editing them, getting them up on the website, and doing the Monday email that contains them, for example. So we put a lot of time into this. What we don't want to do is put a general paywall behind Club Soda so that you can only get this if you pay. So we're going to try out a pay what you want model. What we would really appreciate is your feedback on how we're doing it and the way we word things and all of that sort of stuff. So I will start saying, you know, we're a pay what you want model. If you really love this webinar, please contribute a little bit of cash. We'll start doing that in the future. So this is just like your week warning or whatever. But as you know, we always appreciate your ideas and your feedback in Club Soda. So do feel free to let us know what you think. So that's it, guys. I'm just having a little flick through. I don't think there are any more big things. La 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 la, look at the state of my hair. Oh my god, it's hot. Anything else? Topless webcams. Thanks, David Priestley. It wasn't quite. Anyway, speak to you soon. Bye.